Yeah, he's colorblind.
It's green.
There you go.
All right, at 6 o'clock, we'll call the Oconee County Fire Advisory Commission meeting to order. At this time, we will entertain a motion that we approve the minutes from the last meeting.
I'll second.
I got a motion and a second.
I got one little clarification on this Region 5. I don't remember saying that the fire department had to replace that bridge. It was a private company.
Right.
And so, just, try to figure out exactly what that said, change it, because it could be misconstrued that somebody think the fire department had to replace that bridge.
Commissioner Wilkerson, talking about fire commissioner updates in Region 5. I'm looking for it.
It's the second sentence on the,
First bullet of Region 5, the third line.
Commissioner Wilkerson raised concern about the bridge safety in Stations 8 District, citing a Pickens County incident where a collapsed bridge forced local departments to replace it at their own or insurance expense. I don't think he was implying that a fire department had to replace that, so, for clarification purposes. Other than that change, see anything else?
That's all I have.
Okay, I got a motion and a second. We'll call for the vote. Wilkerson? Tony? Aye.
Aye.
All ayes, no nays. At this time, we will open the floor for public comments. You've got a time limit of 5 minutes. At 4 minutes, I will hold up the yellow card, giving you 1 minute left to speak. At the end of your 5 minutes, I'll hold a red card up, and that'll be the end of your allotted time to speak. I will encourage everybody to keep this professional, keep it civil, or we will put Mr. Sayer to work back there. We got any public comments?
Yep, we have two. So our first is Dwayne Pay.
Good evening, Commissioners. Dwayne Pay from Mountain Rest. I just come to express my concerns about the new staffing going to one man in a station. I feel that it didn't work before, and I feel that putting young people in that position is going to be unsafe. I feel that you should keep them as a team, at least as a two-man team. It'd be better to have three. That way you have safety when you get on scene, on any call that we have anywhere. I know there's times that we state that volunteers are going to be coming or there's another station coming. Well, unfortunately, where I live at up there, if you got one man out and he's up 107, you got another guy coming from our closest would be Long Creek, that's 20 minutes. May or may not have a volunteer there. I work during the day. A lot of my volunteers that were up there work during the day. And I just don't feel that it's going to be safe. You just don't know what's out there anymore. You know, we could have some crazy drunk wreck up there or meth head wreck up there, and young man gets there and this man wants to fight, and what's going to happen? That, or you run a call and you may have a lady or something that's fell in a house and you have to go into that house alone. It's not good. It's just bad business. And I just feel that you shouldn't put one man in a station. Put them back as a team. I think it'll build team morale, and I think you will not have as big a turnover rate as we had in the past. And that's really all I got. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Somebody got something? Thank you for your time, Dwayne.
And we have one more public comment, is Rainey Bond.
What did you say the name was?
Rainey Bond.
Commissioners, I'm Randy Bond. I'm from Mountain Rest. I'm part of the fire department up there. I've been there for 6 years. Before that, I was in the Navy for 20 years. I've been to Afghanistan, I've been to Iraq twice. I've been on ships, I've been instructors in schools. I've had young people work for me. I've been a young person in those arduous environments. And I just agree with everything Dwayne said about putting young people, one person to a station. Because It's dangerous. They're not getting training. What are they doing? Who's managing them? Chief Smith, you got 400 and some employees. It's like herding cats, right? Can you watch them all the time? No, but then you put them 50 miles apart. We had a guy in Mountain Rest when I first joined the fire department, a one-man guy there during the week. Well, he had a side gig. That side gig was making hammies. And if you went into the fire station during the day, it looked like Spider-Man had been in there. There was shit hanging everywhere. Now, he wasn't doing nothing, fire department. So that's what's gonna happen when you put these kids up there by themselves. And then they get a call. We had a call, an emergency call at the state park today. Who went? Station 19, all the way from down here at the little house. It was 20 minutes for them to get up there. Truman was at work. I was down here. Dwayne was at work. There wasn't nobody coming to help that one guy if he'd have been up there for a long time. Guy was having a heart attack. That's like 20 minutes, a long time to do CPR by yourself. Y'all don't want to be in that situation by yourself. None of you do. Let's don't put our kids there either. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bond. Mr. Bond, you're a member at Station 4?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
That's it.
Anybody have anything to comment? I hear of none. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your coming out and letting us know, and we will definitely take that into consideration. There has not been a definite plan made yet. There's a lot of false information floating around on the streets. So, but we as a board want to do what's the best for the citizens of the county and also the firefighters as well. Anybody got anything?
Well, I'm gonna bring it up later in my region thing. Yeah. All my guys, chiefs, all my divisions, they're not for it either.
Wait, let's do that under your region. Chief Smith, you got anything?
Yeah, just update everybody. The first tanker was delivered of the 6 that we ordered 2 weeks ago. It's at Motor Pool, getting outfitted with radios and other equipment. The other second and third tanker should be here week after next. And then the last 3 will be shortly thereafter. So starting to get those in, and we'll be getting those out to the departments and getting them in service.
Is that all you got?
Oh, just a reminder, the awards dinner next Thursday night for all the high school, 6 o'clock.
Anybody got any questions for tankers? They're very nice. They drive real good. Trust me, I know. I drove one back from Sumter. If they had a little issue with them,
That's been addressed. Freightliner found there was an issue on their side, on the chassis side, and that's
you
been
want to
addressed.
explain that to them?
Well, just when you made sharp turns, there was a pop in the rear end with a suspension. Freightliner identified an issue on their chassis side. They've addressed it on tanker number 2, and they're coming to fix the tanker that was already here. And then the others are being addressed before we get them. They're all going back to Freightliner for that.
Commissioner updates, District 1, Commissioner McAllister.
Well, just to reiterate, all of my chiefs I talked to yesterday, they don't like the 40-hour week idea. And a lot of the guys that work for 21 don't like the idea. I think they're gonna have about 5 hang it up. They can go to like York County for $59,000 a year, or easily for $58,000 a year. Be a backseat firefighter. And a lot of them work 2 different stations. If they go to 40-hour a week, they can do that, make a living for their family. I don't know what the master plan is to get fixed or figure out what we're gonna do. I want y'all on try to do the best for the community and the firefighters. That's about all I got of what Troy wanna know, when Tiger 11 was coming in. We just talked about that too.
That all you got?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. District 2, Commissioner Nicholson.
Nothing's really changed from the last meeting, so.
Okay. District 3, Commissioner Skelton.
No, sir.
Commissioner, District 4, Commissioner Collins, nothing that we're not in the process of working on. The one big thing is Holly Springs FDID number, that ball is rolling. Chief Smith is working on a letter with Attorney Root, and the Public Safety Committee is working on finalizing the details for getting the ownership of the building to the Holly Springs Fire Department. So that ball is rolling. Maybe we'll see some reports, some progress on it pretty quick. So, District 5, Chief, Commissioner Wilkerson.
Chief Brock's still asking about the tower repeater in this area, so I hadn't heard an update. Have we given him any updates since last meeting?
Yes, it's at, the administrator's level now, I think, for approval. They're also working on, with the attorney working out placement of the antenna, allowing it to be placed on somebody else's property. So that's my understanding, that's where it's at right now. You was at the
Yes,
meeting,
I'll
some
give you an
additional-
update on the radio committee.
Okay. That's all.
Anything else? At-large seats, Chief Smith and Commissioner Swalford. Y'all got anything?
Nothing additional other than when I get my report, I won't have anything. I'll do it all with my report.
Okay.
I didn't realize at the last meeting that the chiefs that wasn't represented, the District 1 that Tony's seat was filled. But I did talk to two of their chiefs this week as well, and they did show concern about the 40-hour staffing. One of them really iterated that he didn't even know about the 40-hour thing, so he was pretty aggravated about that. But I told him nothing was set in stone yet because we still haven't had a chiefs meeting because we canceled the one in January due to the ice storm. So next meeting for the Chiefs Association will be next Monday at 6 o'clock at QE Fire Department. So I think we need to just go over all the details more of that later.
Okay. Anything else? Discussion items, volunteer incentive expenditure breakdown. Chief Smith, did you get any luck?
Yes,
getting that?
I've got you some information, and this is volunteers countywide, fire and rescue, not just fire.
Do we have a copy of that?
I'm sorry?
Do we have a copy of that?
No, I can get you a copy. I've got some numbers wrote down. There's a supplemental insurance that's paid for all volunteers, fire and rescue, that's just a little over $20,000 annually. There's transport insurance that, this current year would be 28,000 and some change. I think it was 177 volunteers that made the incentive. It's $160 per person. In the year past of the number I got, it was $30,000 that was paid to that transport insurance. That was one invoice that was paid. Not real sure that may have been some paid staff that was in that one invoice as well, but I have made sure that we pulled out the 177 and got a number for that for just volunteers for this year for the transport insurance, and then the paid staff will be paid out of the general fund. The only other thing that comes out of there is the award and accommodation bars. The meals for the awards program for the volunteers who received an incentive or a volunteer who received an award. The paid staff meals is paid for out of the paid budget. And then every check that's wrote, the county has to pay workers' comp on that check for every volunteer that gets a check. So that money goes back, transferred back to get paid to workers' comp. And that's the breakdown of how it was spent. And of the money that was paid out, if I understand it right, the money that was paid out on the incentive this year, there's $48,000 left in the account. You got $20,000 supplemental insurance on every volunteer, and $28,000 and some change is what it would be for the 177. So that's gonna eat up that 48,000 that's left in the account. And I believe last year, we actually spent more than what was budgeted there. That was probably because we had a lot of awards last year as well. And of course, the volunteer number goes up and down depending on who gets incentives, how many gets it each year.
Well, we can't fix anything that's already been done, but I think the committees, both rescue and fire, need to be on top of the spending of this incentive money just to make sure that it's going to the volunteers.
I will tell you, and that's the only thing that may have been looked into was the transport, and I've made sure we pulled that out. Both of these insurances are due next week. So they're running out in March, or renew in March. So we've got to get those paid. But we've made sure we pulled that out, and it's just the volunteers on the transport, and it's only the volunteers on the supplemental.
Chief Smith, let me ask you a question about the supplemental insurance. What exactly?
My understanding is if you got hurt and was on workers' comp due to an injury with a fire, it's to help supplement that.
Okay, so it's on the scene.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Or doing something with the fire department, you got hurt. That's my understanding.
Okay.
I would have to actually see the policy to know, but that's my understanding. That's what it covers.
Okay.
Just try to help offset, because as a
I just
volunteer.
don't think that the volunteers, and I know I didn't know about it. And I think that's something that they chose to pull out of the incentive money with no direction or no approval.
It'd be nice to see the insurance policy and how many people's covered under it.
And I think it's just kind of a blanket for a total number of volunteers. It's through the Firefighters Association. I can get the details, but if you get hurt volunteering, what you're gonna draw off workers' comp from the county workers' comp is nothing.
I just think that may need to be put in the general budget and leave
To cover the volunteers on the general budget and not be a volunteer incentive line item?
Right. But that's not a decision for me to make. That needs to go
I
to the
understand.
Chiefs
I
Association.
understand.
But that whole incentive was set up, and y'all have heard me say it every month, to recoup a little bit back to the volunteers. And some of them may not want it, but we didn't have an option.
So it may need to be something discussed with both agencies across the board with everybody.
We've got a committee for that. We've got appointees on our commission.
Myself and Truman are on that committee, and
Okay.
then I believe the Rescue Commission elected,
Yes, they
the guy
elected.
from Rescue
Yes.
1 and a lady from Rescue 7 and 8. I believe they're on that committee.
I think they've got 3 of it. I don't hold me to it.
I just know that one for sure.
But we probably need to get the two committees together pretty quick. I mean, especially if we're already to a deadline to pay and stuff.
Yeah.
We need to get this committee together pretty quick.
Yeah, I talked to Dean right before the last rescue commission meeting about that. Told him we needed to get together. We'll do it. I didn't know who was put on that committee.
Travis, I don't think we need to hold up paying the premium on that committee. It needs to be done if we need to line out transfer or something,
Right.
that can be done then.
Yeah.
Chris, I think it's $200. So we had an extra policy, Fair Play, through Serena at the state, and it was, I forgot what we were paying, but anyways, $200-300 for workers' comp. And then this goes on top of it, and it'll go up to whatever your weekly wage is from your primary
That's
employer.
right. So you're a volunteer, we're
And I
gonna
think
draw about
it's
$200.
extra is what that policy
Okay.
is.
Yeah. It's nothing that a volunteer would draw off workers' comp if they were hurt and couldn't do their full-time job, because that'd be the only workers' comp you would be drawing.
How many stations have their own supplemental insurance policies that cover that?
I couldn't answer that question.
Because it's like, if Cleveland's got a policy and then county's got a policy, it's like double
They're
coverage.
both not gonna pay.
Right, from the same.
And honestly, it's probably from the same place at the Firefighters Association, and they're just making money on both sides.
Yeah, actually, according to Serena, they will both pay.
They will both
And so
pay?
that's what come up. We lowered ours by whatever the county's amount is how we found out about it, because let's say we had 600, we found the county's at 2, so we lowered ours to 400, it reduced our premium, but the workers' comp and both of those will pick up on our people up to whatever it is they make on their regular job.
We can go ahead and process with this because it was in what was in the budget now.
Right.
And then y'all can have your discussion and going forward, if the volunteers decide they don't want the coverage, then we can do something different.
Have you got that on the chief's meeting agenda?
It's not on the agenda right now, but I got it wrote down to put it on there.
We need to have that discussion with fire chiefs to see what their wishes are. So,
Does this cover just the people that gets the incentive?
No.
Covers
No,
all.
the supplemental covers every volunteer, incentive or no incentive. No, there is no number there. The transport is just incentive.
Wondering why it come out of the incentive money. Yeah, that's taken away from the guys that are getting out here and busting their tail, running calls, covering all the ones that not do call you.
We'll put that in the committee's hands. Would either one of y'all step up to be the chair of that committee on our side? Truman?
I can't do.
All in favor of Truman being the chair of the fire side of the incentive committee? Larry? Tony?
Aye.
Truman? Travis? Stephen? Chris? Any more on this incentive? We can't fix anything that was done in the past. We can just fix going forward, so. The radio communication issues, I got an invite to attend the radio committee meeting, last week, I think it was. Why, I don't know, and they probably regret asking me to come. But, the beef of it was they wanted to know going forward what direction they needed to take. And, it was real hard to answer that question because nobody has a plan yet. They are in favor of having a radio study performed from an independent source to tell us what we do need. They have set a committee and they want to get with our committee, which is, help me with the committees, y'all. Commissioner Nicholson, Commissioner Smith, and Commissioner Swafford. They would like to get with the two committees together before March 31st. If somebody would throw a date out, I'll throw it to them, or one of the three of you guys can step up and become chair of that committee. Commissioner Smith, you want to jump on that?
I'll take care of that, yes, sir.
See, I gave you a chance, none of y'all told. Would you set that up with Chairman Lamb? Brady is the chair of their committee. So, anything else on radio committee? Discuss alerting apps such as Active 911 and Responder app. Anybody got anything on that?
I know a lot of people that I've talked to, they would like to go back to the active 911, instead of using the responder. That's basically all I've got with that, and I know we kicked around some stuff in the workshop meeting about it, but
I like to have the 911 myself better responding to calls than the responder app, but I do like the responder app as in when I schedule training on the computer and send it out to the guys. it automatically populates the training form where that's less paperwork you gotta do in the background after all the training. That's one aspect I do like of it, but the actual call stuff, Active 911 was a whole lot easier.
Everybody I've talked to agreed on, they'd rather have Active 911.
Same.
A lot of us, two of the stations that I'm at done got it yourself. The old active.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be like $300, but $30 a head or $15 a head.
Is that something that we could take to the Public Safety Committee with? Because years ago, I know the sheriff's office still used it, so could we not just get like a bundled deal? I could be wrong about that, but years ago.
Officer Sayer, do y'all use Active 911?
No, sir, we do not.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, take that back. Years ago they did.
It's just something that would have to be developed into the budget.
Did you figure out the total number of spots that we would have to have?
No, because I don't have everybody's quarterly yet to see how many we have on rosters, just to get a good number.
Okay.
So, and then we gotta do rescue as well, so I'll try to have that, I'll try to get that.
My suggestion would be to burden Chief Smith to find the money and go ahead and get it coming back. That as quick as possible. I mean, we're looking at, we did some rough numbers at the workshop, $4,000. I don't think it was that much.
I think we were paying $6,000 was what we were paying. We're paying $6,000 for that, may be wrong, and $24,000 for our reporting system. But then the reporting system went up to $46,000, and we still had the same amount budgeted. We budgeted to $46,000, so that's why active dropped. The original reporting system we were with was gonna go to $90,000, so that's why we switched to where we went. So, it would just have to be a budgeting thing. So,
I think that we could get, I think Oconee Council, if we took it before the committee, responder, terrible in my opinion. I hate it. And I haven't talked to anybody who did like it. But I hadn't talked to anybody who liked respond or read NMX either. So. Let's let Chief Smith get us a true head count so that we can come up with a dollar sign. But if we do go back to active, and I think Commissioner Wilkerson's gonna chime in if I don't, we need to have rights to our own station.
Absolutely.
We need to be able to manage our own station, and that would in turn help limit the spots that you need. I know in the past, they paid for a block of spots, and past leadership would say, Chief Swafford, clean active up, we're running out of spots. And when you'd go on there, there would be all kind of people on your fire department that didn't belong.
It may be easier to budget a certain amount for each department and let y'all do your own and supplement the money, give you the money to do your active.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're managing your own. Because we did have people that just added their wives because their wives won't know what was going on. It was eating up those accounts. So that might be an option as we build it in the budget, if you want to manage it, is you have your own account, but maybe it's through the budget funded that way. You know what I mean?
And I'm okay with somebody with the county being the main point of contact to it, but I should be able to manage I as a fire chief should be able to manage my people.
We'll get a number and we can figure out the specifics going forward if we can get it approved in the budget.
Everybody good with tabling this to the next meeting?
Well, I got one thing right quick. I don't know what the county already gives each fire station, what, $60,000 a year? If it ain't gonna cost you $300, we can take her out of that $60,000 instead of having the county has to come up with another 5 or 6 years.
Well, I disagree with that because we're already behind the 8 ball. We need more money now.
Or
For what?
you spend $60,000 a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
You bought turnout gear lately? Yeah.
It's every 10 years,
It's doubled.
or 8 years or something. Yeah, $5 for that, we just bought, appreciate the way it is.
Miss Maddie, you got that on the minute for next month? Okay. Replacement schedule for apparatus discussed in workshop. We brought that.
There was not a replacement plan at all the vehicles, and I said we need to build up a replacement plan. So
Okay.
that's what we gotta work on. There've been several plans, we've updated it, we need to build another plan. So I've got a list. of
You're
all
working on that?
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
We'll just, ask for an update next month.
Need help with that?
Ken, I was gonna put it all.
Um,
I mean, I was just asking. Do you want somebody else to help?
Social media policy. I think we can talk about that some in executive session if you guys would like. Everybody good with that? Policy for med-tones. I think the urgency for med-tones coming back will play into the 40-hour staffing plan, so that these guys know when a call's in their area. And, in the past, it was stated, Commissioner Wilson, correct me if I'm wrong, that there would be repercussions for no response calls to med-tones or fire departments. And we need to, establish a policy against that, because the fire department's not, unless they signed on to run medical calls, other than the top 10, they don't need to be punished for not running a med
So
call.
they only run what they've signed up to run now.
Right. But in the past, we were told that if you didn't run your med
If you were
calls.
toned and didn't go, you did a no response, but in this new system, there is no response.
Okay. That clear that up for you?
No, I didn't hear it. Say it again.
In the past, in the ERS, if you were toned to a call, regardless of the call and didn't go, you did a no response call, but in this new system, there is no response calls. That's not even a call type or an option.
But now, your boxes, you gotta go back and look at your boxes. You know, like we were running EMS call, and then we got out of that because we get too covered up. They go back, go through our boxes and get some of them out of that.
I'd be glad to sit down with the chief that wants to update their boxes. Just gotta let me know what you don't wanna run.
Any more on med-tones?
Well, if that's the case, that needs to be put out to chiefs meeting, or to all the chiefs through an email or something, so that they know that.
Talk about that Monday night.
Cover section 1043C of county ordinance. I have no idea what that ordinance even is.
Let's see, I took a picture of it on my phone.
You got it? Truman?
No,
The picture Truman sent me last night. To participate in the formation of the budget and budgetary appropriation affecting the areas of concern of the fire commission, to include operations, capital, long-range planning, budgetary recommendations for county council considerations, is what was.
I think I can talk a little bit about that, under the next bulletin, if y'all are good with it. Everybody good with that?
Well, sort of like come back here. See how it works out.
Okay. update discussion on emergency planning committee. Went before the planning committee on Tuesday night, Tuesday afternoon. Took the issues that you guys had requested to take, gave them a update on staffing. You're welcome to go back and look at it, that we would be devising. There was no plan set in place yet on 40-hour staffing, but that I would update them at the next Public Safety Committee meeting, and they were good with that. Spoke about the firefighter training program at the Hamilton Career Center. All three councilmen were very receptive. They were going to, I think they had a meeting, the next day. They were going to push that hard. And I think Councilman James even asked about the equipment, and I told him that it was minimal. The equipment that they had now was minimal. And he said that, he asked the question, did we need to get a line item in the budget or get a money appropriated for equipment there? And I told him until we had a plan back together or a class back together, there was no use to go to budgeted money. Well, then the question was, well, what do you do? And I said, we do like we did before. We go back to the volunteer stations, and they make sure that they have their needs met going forward, and then you can plan through your budget the next year. And they were all good with it. Very receptive, very, very supportive, and they assured me that we would I'd get some feedback and some updates on it. So I haven't as of this time.
In the training meeting that we had at headquarters that Lieutenant Honeycutt had, it was talked about if, like, a junior member that is in high school, whatever district that person lived in, their student, whatever, that station would sponsor them and buy them the turnout gear and stuff, because in theory, if they're out of school, they can help you run calls and stuff like that. So that station should be sponsoring that student per se.
I think they were more worried about the hose and the equipment that they would need to stay at the school.
But that's on the agenda to talk about at the Chiefs meeting Monday as well.
Okay. Back to the section 1043, told them that the Fire Commission has requested more detailed information on current and previous year's actual expenditures. Expectation was to have this for the review at the February commission meeting, and I told them that we knew that wasn't going to happen. So far, all that we have been able to receive was high-level budget already available on the county website. And told them that the Fire Commission has requested to be able to participate in and review development of the draft budget, and they were 100% in support of that. So I expect we'll get some actual expenditures soon, especially since y'all have probably started working on the early stages of a budget, I'm sure.
I think it's supposed to start in the next few weeks.
Okay.
Not yet.
I'm sure we'll have some detailed expenditures from there. We discussed bridges, bridge limits, and all three men, we explained to them that most vehicles this day and time that are needed for a structure fire, they weigh somewhere around 40,000 pounds, 44,000 pounds. Cleveland's two engines weighs 40,000 and 44,000 respectively. Two of the vital bridges going into our area is rated at 10 tons. So that puts a lot of area in the county on an island if we adhere to the bridge limits. I point blank asked them the questions that we needed some clarification on. Are emergency vehicles excluded? Second question, will state transport officers issue citations? And if so, who's going to pay these citations? Oconee County, the local fire department, or that poor individual that's volunteering his time to drive a fire truck, or is he gonna be expected to drive it, or to pay it? So they turned that over to Mr. Root and told him, go to digging. We need some answers. So I'm expecting to hear something back from that soon. But, they did pass that on to Mr. Root to, start investigating it. So I don't have any actual answers for you right now, but they were in 100% agreement with us that, this might be a big issue. And I told them that some of these districts you could get to, but you're gonna have to go around the world and the house will be burnt down before you get there. So they're on it. It's in their court now.
Actually, a few of us, along with some loggers, had a meeting with Senator Alexander about some of that same stuff. The state needs to address these issues and take care of them.
Well, like we said at the last meeting, I think that county council level will get farther than the seven of us can get.
Yes, all those loggers in that meeting, they
They were pretty heated.
were pretty heated, yeah. They were civil, but
Yeah.
I think they got their point across.
Right. And the last thing I brought to the committee was Holly Springs, and I've already gave you that in my district report. We received the letter from Jonathan Jones, and I'll go on record to say that we waited 2.5, 3 weeks to get a response from him. He wants, the state is changing the way that they certify a fire department, just for the pure fact that if Chief Skelton wanted to go take a class and he worked for Borg Warner, he could sign up as a fire department and he'd go take that class. Well, he's instantly became a fire department. So they're going back defending that now. So they're asking for letters and documentation of that this is actually a fire department. They adhere to minimum standards, just like your equipment checkoff sheet that you have to file every year. They have to have their own fire district, which Holly Springs does. They have to be dispatched to these calls through a government dispatch, which they are. So the only thing that would be changing would be the FDID number that they work under. So, I sent this letter to Chief Smith. Chief Smith, contacted Mr. Root. They, started the process of getting the required letters to send to Jonathan Jones. The only hiccup was that they do not own the building that they're actually currently housed in. And, the Public Safety Committees, basically said that would not be an issue and that they would be working on the plan to get them ownership of their current building. So, if we can get this done by the end of March, they file their paperwork with state firefighters, they'll be voted in at the conference as a certified fire department.
The FDID and voting
Yes,
in at the
yes.
conference, two different
But-
things. That's recognized by the Firefighter Association.
Right.
FDID is something totally different.
But if they do this, then they go before the board at the fire convention and their people start operating off their own FDID number. And that's all that I presented to them at the time. They were receptive, so. And that's all I've got from the committee. At this time, we have got listed, executive session. So, we will, break here for executive session. And, we will be back shortly. Yes, sir.
What are the topics for the executive session?
They're listed on the agenda.
Can't see that for me. Read them, please.
Commission discussion of personnel matter related to emergency services. Commission discussion of FOIA requests for all fire departments. Commission discussion related to fire station staffing.
Are you guys receiving legal advice on that FOIA stuff, or are you just discussing?
That's just a discussion item in executive session.
Could we not have that here so the public could hear?
Not at this time, no, sir. Not at this time.
You actually have to have a motion to go into executive session.
Doing it.
You have to have a motion to go into executive session.
Could I entertain a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Commissioner Wilkerson made a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Skelton made a second. So we will return. We'll call this meeting back in session. 8:48. I'm gonna call for a vote for a tentative staffing schedule to be presented to the fire chiefs on Monday night, as discussed in executive session. Commissioner Wilkerson?
I'll second your motion.
Okay.
And
So-
and I'll say yes. Yeah.
I got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All right, I'm gonna call for the vote. Commissioner Wilkerson?
Yay.
Commissioner McAllister?
Yay.
Commissioner Nicholson?
Yay.
Commissioner Collins, yay. Commissioner
Yay.
Skelton? Commissioner Swafford? Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Motion carried unanimously. I hear of no other business before the commission. I'm going to
Motion to adjourn.
entertain a motion, and I have a second. And I'm gonna call for a vote.
Yay.
Wilkerson? McAllister?
Yay.
Nicholson?
Yay.
Meeting adjourned at 8:50.